one of the nominees. How does it feel to be nominated by your colleagues?
Lying on your backs, in any position that's comfortable for you with your legs. So legs extended or knees bent. Come to lie on your backs. Can you hear me? Oh, have I muted myself? Just a second. Can you hear me now? Strange. So come to lie on your backs, bringing the legs into the most comfortable position for you. And eyes either open or closed. Take a little bit of time to get comfortable here. Let yourself feel very heavy into the mat. Use the next few breaths to really settle in. And start to notice the contact between the back of the body and the floor. Notice any points of contact between yourself and the floor. And then gently scan through the body, noticing anything that's coming up for you. Notice any areas of tension that you might be able to soften. And just continue with this scan, moving the awareness freely. Do acknowledge your mood, your energy, any tightness or aches or pains. And remember that when we're moving through the practice, you are welcome to modify when you need to, rest when you need to, take any variations that you like to take. Feel your heartbeat. Notice how it feels. And then bring your awareness onto your breath. Pay attention to the breath, noticing how the natural rhythm is, any qualities of the breath. And we'll start now to deepen the breath. So lengthen your inhale and lengthen your exhale. Continue to deepen the breath in this way. Rest one hand on your ribs and the other hand on your belly, and just feel the rise and fall of the belly with the breath. So inhale, belly and ribs expand. And exhale, everything draws in. Inhale, breathing all the way down into the lower belly. And the exhale all the way out. Now see if you can make that a little bit fuller, bigger breath. So on your inhale, let the belly expand, but also into the sides and your back and the back of the rib cage. We'll take a few more rounds of breath like this. Big, full inhales. Complete exhales. Take one more breath like this. Let go of the deep breathing and notice how you're doing. And start to find a smooth, easy breath to use through the practice. And take a moment now to consider an intention, a positive affirmation. And you might come back to the same thing each time, or it might vary day to day or week to week. And think about something that you'd like to manifest, a quality. We'll take an inhale together. And send out those intentions with your next exhale. And bring your knees in, give them a little squeeze. And release your left foot down and extend the right leg up. And interlace around the back of the right thigh. We take some ankle circles, so gentle circles, a couple of times in each direction. And then point and flex the foot. And hold it in the flexed position, so push up through your heel. Straighten the leg as much as you like until you feel that stretch down through the back of the thigh, maybe into the calf and the ankle a little bit. One more breath here. And then we'll take it into half happy baby. So left hand, left hip. Your right hand can come anywhere on the right leg. So it might just hook behind the knee or the shin or the outside of the right foot. And you draw that knee wide towards your armpit. Take a couple of breaths here. Release into figure 4. The right ankle crosses the thigh. We're going to come back to this in standing. So remember that position, the ankle on the thigh, the right foot is flexed and the knee opens up. You can either stay like this or thread the needle so the hands come around the back of the left thigh. Left foot dangles down. Take a couple of easy breaths. And then release both feet onto the mat. And we'll switch side. The left leg extends up, interlace round the thigh. You might need to use a strap here if your arms aren't long enough, maybe. And that's fine. You can strap around the back of the thigh. We take those ankle circles. And then flexing and pointing. And holding in the flex position, working the leg towards straight, getting that stretch down the back of the left leg. And finding your half happy baby, that left knee comes wide and you hold on wherever is most easily accessible for you. Right hand resting on the right hip, breathe into the left hip. One more breath. And coming into figure 4, left ankle over the right thigh, that left knee opens up. Either stay or thread the needle, hands around the back of the right thigh. Now the shoulders want to kind of hunch up, relax the shoulders, drop the chin down a little bit towards the chest. We'll take 2 more breaths here. And then release both feet onto the mat in bridge position, so hip width and parallel. Just touch your heels with your middle fingers. And we're going to move with the breath. So on your inhale, float the hips up, any amount. And then the exhale, they come back down. Inhale, you lift up. Exhale, come down. And continue like this, and you might want to introduce the arms. So your inhale, the hips lift, the arms come up overhead. The exhale, everything comes back down. We'll do that 3 more times. So pushing into your feet, you lift up. Exhale, lower. 2 more times with your own breath. When you finish that final round, just let the back settle, take a moment here. And then draw your knees in, and we're going to rock up to sit, and then come over onto all fours with your wrists under the shoulders, knees under the hips. I'm going to take my socks off. And then you can start to move through cow and cat. So the inhale takes your gaze up. The exhale, round the back, tuck the chin. Close your eyes and keep moving with the breath. And you can always feel free to make it a little bit freestyle. Any movement that feels good, or holding the stretches if that feels good. And take a couple more breaths like this. And then come to stillness here. Spread the fingers wide. Tuck the toes, lift up to downward facing dog, lengthen the spine. And then come to stillness here. So there's a push into your hands. You lift the sit bones up, chest sinks towards your thighs, and you can keep a little bend in the knees. On your next inhale, come forward into a plank, high plank, or modify with your knees down. On your next exhale, bend the elbows lower down onto your belly. We'll take 3 baby cobras, tops of the feet push down. Inhale, lift up and lengthen. Exhale, release. Inhale to lift up. Exhale to lower, and we're not pushing into the hands, so the hands come up as well. Inhale, you rise. Exhale, come down. Inhale, tuck the toes, push back, seat to heels. And exhale to downward facing dog. Take 3 breaths here. We'll follow each inhale and each exhale. Anytime you need to modify down dog, you can come to all fours. On your next exhale, look forward, step the feet to the hands at the top of the mat and come into ragdoll. So fold over your legs, let the head go. You can take any arm variation that feels good this evening, either little fingers resting in the elbow creases or interlace behind the back or behind the neck. Just hang out here, make everything very floppy. You can sway or rock or shake the head out. Come to stillness. Release the hands down. On your inhale, rise all the way up to stand. Reverse swan dive, reach the hands out and up, palms touch at the top. Exhale, hands in prayer in front of the heart. And smooth out your breath. Two more breaths here. We're going to come into standing figure 4. So rooting through your left foot, lift the right knee up. And you cross that ankle over the thigh, just like we did on our backs. You either stay upright or start to sink the hips down. Keep your chest lifted, hands in prayer. One hand to the foot, one hand to the knee. And hold it here. Couple of deep, full breaths. And then the left hand comes onto the left hip, right hand on your right knee. And you stand up, bringing that right knee with you. So similar to that happy baby. And the knee comes out to the side. Hold here, 2 breaths. And then release the right toes behind you. You stay up on the toes. Reach your right arm up and over, and the left hand makes a bracelet around the right wrist. Inhale, lengthen up, and then hinge over to your left, dancing Shiva. Relax the shoulders, lift your chin. One more breath here. And bring your hands back to prayer, big toes touch. And we switch sides. So figure 4, left knee lifts up. Left ankle crosses just above the knee and you sink down. Of course, you can hold on to the wall if you need to, or a chair. Bring your right hand onto the right hip, left hand, left knee, and stand up. Bring that knee with you. And feel that right footprint on the mat, strong through the right leg. Crown of the head lifts up. One more breath. And then stepping the left toes behind you. Left arm up and over, right hand like a bracelet. Inhale, you lengthen. Exhale, fold over to your right. One more breath. Hands come back to the heart, big toes touch. Release your hands by your side, sun salute A. Use an inhale to reach up, look up. And exhale to fold forwards. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, step back to your plank, high plank or modify with the knees. Take an inhale here. And your exhale, you lower down. Inhaling for cobra, push into your hands, lift the heart up and through. And exhale, take it back to downward facing dog. Down dog, all fours or child's pose. Take 3 full breaths. Let the head go. Gaze is back towards your toes. One more breath. On your next exhale, look forwards and make your way to the top of the mat. halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold in. On your next inhale, rise up, big stretch. Exhale, hands in prayer. You smooth out the breath. Release the hands down and we'll flow through again. Inhale, reach up, look up. Exhale to forward fold, folding in with length. Take a halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, hands down, step back to your plank. You can inhale here. Exhale, lower down. Inhale for your back bend, cobra or up dog. Exhale back to down dog. 3 full deep breaths. One more breath. Use your next exhale to look forwards. Step or hop to the top. Halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, you rise. Exhale, hands in prayer. 2 breaths. Bring your hands down, we'll flow through again. Inhale, reach up, upward salute. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands down, step back to plank. Take an inhale. Exhale, bend the elbows, come down. Inhale for your back bend. Exhale, meeting in down dog. Take 3 breaths here. On your next inhale, lift the right leg up, 3-legged dog. Bend the right knee and open the hip. The rest of your down dog stays exactly as it was. So that right hip twists up, stacks over the left hip. The right knee lifts up towards the ceiling. On your next inhale, kick away, 3-legged dog. Exhale to step the right foot through. Drop your back knee down. Bring your right foot to the edge of the mat. So we're in a runner's lunge. Let the hips sink down. Lift the chest up. You can either be on your palms, maybe on your forearms, or you can use a block. And there's that big opening through the front of the left hip and a stretch through the groin. Couple more breaths. We'll pull back to half split, so the hips come over the back knee, you flex the front foot. And drop that right hip down. Inhale, you lengthen. Exhale, you fold in. Maybe you creep your fingers forward, so you get a stretch through the arms, through the armpits. One more breath. Come back into your lunge. Bring that right foot more towards the center of the mat. Tuck the back toes, lift the back knee and drop the back heel down. So you've got warrior 2 legs. You're not lifting up into warrior 2. Reach your fingers forwards and past the top left corner of your mat. So you're on fingertips or palms, reaching up past the top corner of your mat. and the head hangs heavy. So it's like a down dog, warrior 2. Now you can stay in this position, or we will add on with a bind. So you can bring your right shoulder by your right knee. You might bring your right hand around the back of the right ankle, and you could stay here, let the head go. Or you drape this left arm around your back and stay here. Well, some of you will be able to bind and bring your right hand round so that the fingers can hook on, or you can hold your wrist even. But stay in this humble position with the head down. And you only take it as far as is accessible to you. That right shoulder nestled inside the right knee. Good. Yeah. One more breath here. And then unravel your bind. Bring the hands either side of the front foot. You're in a lunge. You step back to a plank. You might be in full plank or modified with your knees down, or you might hover that right leg. Then you can move through your flow or push straight back to downward facing dog and rest, your choice. One breath, one movement. And we meet in down dog when you're ready. We go through that sequence on the second side. Use an inhale to lift the left leg up. Bend the knee and open the hip. So the knee points up. The left foot hangs down by your bum. And your right heel works towards the mat. You can bend the right knee as much as you need to. Inhale, extend the left leg. Exhale, step the left foot through. Runner's lunge, the back knee comes down. Shuffle your left foot towards the left side of the mat. Soften the hips. Lift the chest. Either palms or forearms or block. And hold it here, breathing. Two more breaths. And pull back to your half split. So the hips shift back. Left toes point up to the ceiling. Inhale to lengthen. And then fold in. Use your block if you need to, or reach your fingers forwards. Two more breaths. Then coming back into that lunge, bending the left knee. That left foot comes towards the middle of the mat. Find your warrior 2 legs. So the back foot is flat on your mat. Left toes face the top of the mat. And then you reach your fingers away from you. Come into this big stretch to start off with. Sink your hips down. Couple of breaths here. And then you stay, or you add on a bit of a bind. So nestle the left shoulder inside your left knee. Maybe the left hand around the left ankle. Maybe the right arm around your back. And here you could just hold on to your clothes or your left thigh. Maybe you go for the full bind, so reaching that left arm around, see if you can find your fingers. Be very mindful of your shoulders, and then not collapsing down. There is a push into the feet to keep you lifted. Couple more breaths. And then unravel your bind. Bring your hands either side of the front foot. You're in a lunge, and you step back into your plank, regular plank, or maybe hover that right leg. Either you push back to your down dog or move through the vinyasa. Exhaling to lower down. Inhaling for a back bend. And exhale, we all meet in downward facing dog when you're ready. You have 3 full deep breaths here. On your next exhale, look forwards and step or hop to the top of the mat. Take a halfway lift. Exhale, fold in. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, hands in prayer. And smooth out your breath. Release the hands by the sides. Close your eyes. Notice how you're doing. Feel the sensations that are there. Notice how your mind is, where your breath is. And then feel the connection between your feet and your mat. Feel that the weight is evenly spread through the whole of the feet. We're not leaning to one side or the other or backwards and forwards. And the toes are nice and long. And push down into your feet and lengthen up through the top of the head. On your next inhale, reach the hands high, shoulder width, and we're going to sit down into chair. So the feet are either hip width or the big toes touch. Squeeze the legs together, make one strong leg. Keep feeling that connection between your feet and the floor. Hips get heavy, hands reach up, or if the shoulders are tight, the arms can come more parallel to the mat. We'll bring the hands into prayer and come back into figure 4. Lift your right knee up, cross the ankle over the thigh, and then sit deep. Hands in prayer or hands on the right leg. And we're going to come up into that kind of half happy baby position. So either right hand on your knee, or maybe on the inside of the right foot, left hand on the hip, and you'll lift up, bringing that right knee with you. So you might be here, or you might be here. And that right knee opens out to the side. If you want to add on a little bit more, you reach your left hand out to the side. Keep rooting through that left footprint, lifting up through the top of the head. Take one more breath. Dancing Shiva, step the right toes behind you, reach your right hand up and over, left hand to the right wrist, arching over to your left. Bring the hands back to prayer, big toes touch. We're going to sit back down into chair, hands high, sit deep. Second side, hands come into prayer. Lift your left knee up, left ankle, right thigh, figure 4. Sit down. Keep breathing. Right hand, right hip, left hand somewhere on your left leg, knee or foot. And then stand up by pushing into that right leg. You lift the left knee up, draw it out to the side. Maybe extend your right arm. One more breath here. Good, and then we take the left toes behind, left arm up and over. Right hand is a bracelet around the wrist and lean over to your right. Soften the shoulders. Come back to center, hands in prayer, big toes touch. Notice what you feel. Maybe a good time to remember your intention. Release your arms down. On your next inhale, reach up. Exhale, sit down into your chair. Take another inhale here. And exhale to fold forwards. Step your right foot back, coming into a crescent lunge. So if you feel a little bit wobbly, you can drop the back knee down. Otherwise, the back knee is lifted. When you reach your hands high or hands on the hips. If you need to hold on to the wall, go ahead. We're going to move with the breath. So on your inhale, straighten the legs and reach up. On your exhale, back into your lunge. And some of you might want to dip that back knee down. Inhale, you rise up. Exhale to lunge. Inhale, lift up. Last time. Exhale, back into your lunge. Push into that back foot, firm up the back leg. And then we're going to lean forwards. So the torso hinges from the hips, the chest comes forward, and your hands reach away from you. Feel that line from your fingertips out through the back heel. One more breath. Don't hold the breath. And then bring the hands down. Pivot round to the right side of the mat for Prasarita. Wide leg, fold your toes, turn in just a little bit. Inhale, lengthens the spine. Exhale, the belly draws in and you fold forwards. Bend the knees as much as you like. And let the head go, give it a shake out. Your hands are either on the mat or blocks or on your legs. Just a couple more breaths here. On your inhale, lift up halfway. Walk the hands round to the top of the mat. You're in a lunge. You step back either to your plank to move through your vinyasa or take it straight to downward facing dog or child's pose. And whatever you're doing, you're breathing, that breath-body connection. We'll all meet in down dog. 2 breaths here. On your next exhale, look forwards. Step or hop to the top. And take a halfway lift. Inhale. Exhale, fold in. Step the left foot back. Crescent lunge or low lunge if that's better for you. Reach your hands high. And stabilize here. So as we're moving, that lift is coming from the feet. So you want to have a strong connection to your mat. And the gaze is fixed on one spot. On your inhale, reach up, straighten the legs. Exhale to lunge, option to dip the back knee down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale to lunge. One more time. Inhale, you rise. Exhale, settle into your lunge. And then you reach forward. So push into that back foot. Lean forward, reach forward. 2 breaths here. Everything is strong, even your fingertips. On your next exhale, release your hands down. Pivot to the left side of your mat for Prasarita. Turn the toes in. Inhale, you lengthen. Exhale to fold in. The hands down, maybe hold on to your ankles this time. Let the crown of the head hang down towards the mat. You bend your knees, then lift your sit bones up, and the weight rocks a little bit into the balls of the feet. Two more breaths. Use an inhale to take a halfway lift. You pivot round to the top of your mat, you're in a lunge, and you step back, either plank or down dog, rest or flow through. One breath, one movement. And we'll meet in down dog when you're ready. 3 breaths in your down dog. One more breath here. On an exhale, look forward. Step or hop to the top. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold forwards. Bring the big toes to touch, sink your hips down. We're coming back into chair. Lift the hands. Hands into prayer. And we'll take figure 4, lift your right knee up, cross the ankle over the thigh, open the knee, you get that 4 shape, and then you sit down. Soft gaze on one point. And you can stabilize here by pressing the palms, drawing the thumbs to the chest, chest to the thumbs. We'll move into that kind of half happy baby. Left hand onto your left hip, right hand onto the knee or onto the foot, and you stand up. That right knee comes up. And if you want to add on here, you might straighten the right leg and bring it out to the side. Maybe the left arm extends out. And take 2 more breaths. Good. Now, bring your hands onto your hips. Keep that right leg lifted. Kick out through the toe mound. Lengthen up through the crown of the head. Maybe lift that leg up. And then release. Shake it out. And then we'll sit back down into chair. Go through all that on the second side. Hands into prayer. Figure 4, left knee lifts up. And cross the ankle over the thigh. Sit down. Soften the shoulders, soften the face. Right hand onto the right hip, left hand to left knee or foot, and you come up. And you straighten up before you do anything else. You might stay here. You might try and find your foot. Maybe you straighten that leg out. Maybe you reach your right arm out. 2 more breaths. Lift up through the top of the head. Root down through your standing foot. And then hands come back onto your hips. Keep your left knee lifted. A little bit higher. 1 more breath. And then let it go. Swoosh it out. We'll come to stillness. Stand in mountain pose, Tadasana at the top of the mat. Close the eyes. Smooth out the breath. Find that smooth, easy rhythm. And we're going to flow through one more time and come down onto the mat. On your inhale, reach up, move with your breath. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, option to step straight to down dog or through plank if you want to go through the vinyasa, your choice. And we meet in down dog. On your next exhale, look forwards, step or hop through to seated. And bring the soles of the feet together, Baddha Konasana. Lengthen up through the spine. Feel your sit bones on the mat, the outside edges of your feet on the floor. Let go of any holding through the hips if you can. Feel free to stay here or use an inhale to lift up, and then exhale, you tip forwards, keeping the spine long. Then turn your gaze towards your big toes, interlace around your toes. Close your eyes and scan through the body. Notice any areas here that are holding, particularly or often the jaw, shoulders. And then feel the breath. Take 3 breaths here. We'll follow each inhale, each exhale. The next inhale, you lift up. Bring the knees together and then extend your legs out. So push out through your heels. You're going to cross the right ankle over the left. It's like a crisscross forward fold. So on your inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, hinge forward. Keep the spine long. The hands just rest on the floor, either side of the legs. Gaze down towards your shin. You might want to shift your sit bones back a little bit. And use the breath here. The inhale helps to lift you out a little bit and then fold back in. You should be feeling this more through the outside of that right leg and the right hip. Two more breaths here. You lift out, uncross the ankles, give the legs a shake. And then we'll cross the left ankle over the right. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale, belly draws in as you fold in any amount. You keep the feet flexed. And the gaze goes down so you maintain a neutral neck. Maybe wriggle your sit bones back a little bit. Couple more breaths. Lift out of the pose, uncross your ankles, and bring your feet, knees bent, feet to the edges of the mat and the hands behind you. And then you're just going to windscreen wiper the knees from side to side. So that's nice release for the lower back and the hips, and a little bit of a massage on the bum. And then slowly come back to center. Hug around your knees, curl into a little ball. So it's kind of like a seated child's pose. Squeeze everything in, let the head hang. Keep breathing. From here, we're going to release out and come down onto your backs. So you might want to grab any layers if you want to put a long sleeve top on or your socks back on or any of that stuff. Come down onto your backs. And we're going to take a twist. So the option is to cross your right leg over the left, like you're sitting cross-legged. So we're not in that figure four shape. The thighs squeeze together. You bump your hips a little bit to the right and then roll your knees over to the left. If this crossed leg or eagle legs, I guess it's like, does not work for you here, don't do it. Just bring the thighs together. If it's quite strong on the outside of that hip, you could even use a block to prop that knee up. Just go with it, arrange yourself, adjust yourself. The right arm extends out to the side. So work that arm around so that the shoulder blade and the arm is on the floor. Palm turns up. If it's comfortable for the neck, the head can roll to the right. Come to stillness here, let go of any unnecessary tension. Feel the shape of the body in this twist. Notice where you feel the breath when you're in this shape. Take 3 more breaths here. Unravel your legs, bring the knees back to center. Give them a squeeze in. And we'll switch sides. So the left leg crosses the right, either crossed or thighs together. Bump your hips to the left, roll your knees over to the right. And that felt quite good for me, having this block under my knee. So I'm going to use that on this side. Extend the left arm out, find that place where the shoulder and the arm can rest down. If it really doesn't come down, again, you could use a block under the right arm or a pillow or something. Make your adjustments, come to stillness. Deepen the breath. Take 3 more breaths here. Bring the knees, unravel the legs, bring the knees back. Bring them squeeze in. Maybe circle the knees around in opposite directions or the same direction. When you're doing them separately, that works nicely into the hips. When you do them together, you get that rotation around the sacrum. Then come to stillness. So we're going to release into Baddha Konasana legs. So feet together, knees wide. Again, feel free to use props under your thighs if that feels good for you. Rest one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart. And we're going to do alternate nostril breathing without using the hands. So we will just be visualizing the breath. So you'll be breathing up the left nostril, in, out the right, in the right, out the left. So normally we use our thumb and ring finger to block the nostrils, but your hand, one hand can rest on your belly, one hand can rest on your chest. And you just visualize that upside down triangle. So you breathe in the left, out the right, in the right, out the left. Continue with this breath. You're working at a pace that works for you. Doesn't need to be rushed, doesn't need to be that deep. Just your natural breath, visualizing that pattern. So you breathe in the left, out the right, in the right, out the left. That's one round. We're going to work towards 10 rounds. I've done 5 rounds. I have another 5 to go. And when you finished your rounds, just let go of the breath, let go of any counting. Feel the residue of the alternate nostril breathing practice. Observe how it feels in the nose, around the nose, in the mind, the body. Now we'll move into Shavasana, so you can stay in the position that you're in. We'll come into full Shavasana if you want to take the legs up the wall, or any of those variations that you like to take at home. You're so welcome to. Let yourself come to stillness. Feel that the whole body is heavy. Completely held by your mat, your props. No need to hold any tension. The breath has come back to your natural rhythm. We'll take a couple of minutes in Shavasana to be still and quiet. If you feel you'd like to stay longer in Shavasana, please do. If you're ready to come out of the practice, start to deepen the breath. Make some gentle movements with the fingers, the toes, the wrists, the ankles. And then draw your knees in, roll onto one side. Make your way up to sit with the hands in prayer in front of the heart. Sit for a moment to feel the benefits of the practice, acknowledge your practice. Bring the thumbs to the third eye between the eyebrows and remember your intention. Bow the head to the heart, seal the practice. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful evening, a wonderful week.